This is The Great Expanse by John Bat 426, and this is the recap with no cap. No, that's not sign language. But you've clicked on the thumbnail, you already know what we recap in with no cap. Knightfall Part 1. This is going to be a trilogy, an animated trilogy by DC. And I have to say that DC's animated movies are far superior to Marvel's. And you really can't argue with that because Marvel doesn't really put out a lot of animated stuff. Like you could say, oh, the Sony-verse, Into the Spider-Verse, that's Sony. That's not MCU. You know what I mean? Now, of course, MCU will probably say, you know we're a part of Sony, right? Because Spidey is kind of with us. But that's not a Disney product. That makes sense? It's a Sony production. But I could just run down the list. Under the Red Hood, Flashpoint, Throne of Atlantis, The Long Halloween 1 and 2, The Dark Knight Returns 1 and 2, Batman Year 1, Doom, Apocalypse. It's too many to name, too many to number. And that's why DC is actually better than Marvel overall in the grand scheme of things. But when it comes to the MCU, nobody's touching it. All right, I'm talking about a combined superhero movie universe. DC is not touching that. And they've tried twice with Zack Snyder and now with James Gunn. The MCU is just in a different stratosphere. But I'm saying overall, as far as broad storytelling, it's not close. As far as storytelling quality goes, now I think Marvel makes more money, but so do the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys and the New York Giants make more money than any other NFL team, and they have not had a successful season in years. Let me get off my high horse. But do you see the difference between making money and still having better quality? There is a difference. You know what I mean? Oh, sorry about that. I literally just finished watching it for the second time. But this is the story of Knightfall. All right. Now, if you were a longtime Batman or DC Comics fan, you know where this is going. But I didn't know where they would start from. That's what was very interesting. I'm not going to recap the entire movie. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to hit some points, hit some themes, and give some opinions and be out. You know what I mean? I could be here all day talking about DC and Marvel. I love them. But we basically see the antithesis of Batman in the beginning. You know what I mean? Like we see the cult of Cobra. They don't come out and say it, but somebody does mention Cobra. One dude got all these tats or whatever. Like the cult of Cobra we really saw in Young Justice. But we see the difference between the way Batman subdues foes and the way that this mysterious man called Azrael subdues foes. And so in the middle, I mean, he's slaughtering people. This is definitely rated R. So maybe your kid shouldn't watch this, but he's cutting people's heads in half. Like he's looking like Logan or Punisher Warzone. I don't know if you ever saw that one. The one with was it Ray Winstone who played Punisher Warzone? Just ultra violence in the beginning. And then Batman comes to the rescue of the final bad guy that Azrael didn't kill yet. And Batman intervenes. And then the guy's name is Jean-Paul Valley, Azrael. He like snaps out of it, and it's the Order of Saint Dumas. If you ever played Arkham City, you know what that is. All right. But he's been programmed with this Order of Saint Dumas, to be this killing machine. But Batman does something very uncharacteristic. Now he saw him kill people, but instead of turning him over to the police, he incorporated him into the Bat family. You know what I mean? So he's like in the cave, trying to, I think Batman's really just trying to rehabilitate him. And conversely, we see the origins of Bane. I don't know Bane's origins. All I know is what I saw in The Dark Knight Rises. But a comic origin, I roughly knew that he grew up on the fictitious island of Santa Prisca. He was born in Peña Doro prison, but that's all I knew. This explores the origins of Bane, and we see how he was taught from the beginning, from probably the time he was spat out of the womb, to survive, to not show weakness. He steals a biscuit for his mom who's 6. She got bronchitis or tuberculosis or something. And he says, I brought you something. And she smacks him in his face. Ma! She's like, don't show me any mercy. So she's instilling in him, survive, dominate. You know what I mean? Overcome these circumstances, these surroundings. So we see that Mama dies. This, I don't know how necessary this was, but I'm gonna just say it like this. A suspicious individual enters his cell. Now, Bane is a little boy, okay? And he's making overtures, and I'm gonna be very euphemistic, all right? He's making overtures towards Bane, you know what I mean? Bane picks up the book that he was reading and kills the guy as a boy. So the generals that are running this prison, they tell him, you're a demon, you're a Bane. You know, I think Bane, I don't know what I don't know what the dictionary term for Bane is, but it basically means like the end of your existence. Like the bane of your existence means like your death knell. Like this is the end of you, all right? So they lock him in this like cylindrical tower, all this water and all these rats are coming, and the boy survives. He eats rats alive to survive. And he's been down there since he was a child. So we see him like doing push-ups. We see like the years pass, you know, his hair is long. Then he has this big fuzzy beard and he's huge because all he does is do push-ups or whatever. So then they finally let him out of his cell because, you know, they want to, you know, experiment on him. You know what I mean? With Venom. And you know where it's going. Venom, Venom, Venom. I hate that song, by the way. So he's massive. He looks like a He-Man action figure. So they pump him up full of Venom. And they said that previous test subjects died. But Bane grew to enormous proportions, which I was digging. And of course, he becomes Bane. He kills everybody that ran the prison. So then we see that there was a running narrative with Bane. Like his mom gave him a magazine that highlighted Thomas Wayne and how his empire basically ran Gotham City. And over the course of his life, he keeps looking at this magazine and he sees how Bruce Wayne is now, somehow he figures out that Bruce Wayne is Batman. I don't know how he did it. It don't really matter either, because we don't know how he found out in The Dark Knight Rises either. But Bane is very calculating, you know? So, I'm sorry, noise is going off. So, he's set on going to Gotham City, because I guess they're considering Gotham like one of the pinnacle cities or whatever. And Bane wants to topple Bruce Wayne, Batman, because he feels like Batman is making Gotham weak. Because even the police, Renee Montoya says it's Commissioner Gordon, because I think it was Victor Zsasz or whatever. Victor Zsasz, Z-S-A-S-Z. I'm not saying Victor's Keister, but I think, I don't remember exactly, but somebody gets subdued. It might be Victor Zsasz. And Renee Montoya says to Commissioner Gordon, you're going to wait for your buddy to come? You know what I mean? So even she's accusing the police of using Batman as a crutch to take care of the things that they aren't capable of doing. So then we see that Bane, he goes to Gotham years later. He's masked up, you know, got the luchador outfit on. He blows up Arkham Asylum. So all the crazies are let loose. You see Mad Hatter, as I mentioned, Victor Zsasz. Firefly is released. Mr. Freeze is released, okay? And it's all to systematically destroy Batman. So he'll be physically spent and fatigued. You know what I mean? Kind of a cheap way to, you know what I mean, take out your enemy instead of you just, you know, 1v1ing, you know, from the beginning. So we see that Bruce Wayne is seeing this psychiatrist. I don't remember her name. It's Chandra something or whatever. If you read the comic books, you know. All right, so it's very lore accurate. But again, the origin of Bane is kind of something that is adapted. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of adaptations from The Dark Knight Rises, which work. They actually deviated and it actually worked because it's a cohesive story, all right? So Batman said, he's already kind of like weary. He's already frayed, F-R-A-Y-E-D. He's already frayed because, you know, he has to put all these criminals that were released from Arkham back in Arkham. So I think at a minimum, he's going like 2 days without sleep. He's not really eating anything. So Tim and Alfred are and Jean-Paul are trying to get him to like, yo, chill, man. He's like, I can't rest. I can't, you know, he's just on his Batman bull ass. So he's going back out and he tells Tim to stay put. He tells Tim specifically, do not go out because the death of Jason Todd is still wearing on him. So we're borrowing a lot of Batman lore. It's very accurate. It's very precise. So Batman goes out. He meets a venomed Riddler. And Riddler, you know, he can't fight, but he's huge. He's jacked. And Batman punches him and he says, I didn't feel anything. And then he repeats it. He says, I didn't feel anything. He says, what did this madman do to me? So Riddler flees. You know what I mean? I I think they were in a clock tower. I think it blew up or something. I don't remember exactly. I apologize. So we just see that Batman is just slowly being broken down. He was fighting. Who was he fighting? I think it's, oh yeah, he faced the Mad Hatter like in the park. And, Mad Hatter had that mind control technology. And, Mad Hatter's creepy. So he takes innocent people and he turns them into weapons. So, Batman can't hurt them because these are innocent people that are under the thrall of the Mad Hatter's mind control cards. You know what I'm saying? So all these people get up, they have like these knives and they like, Batman's been fighting for 2 days. So, somebody gets one right across his face and that's basically never healed. He never like put any antiseptic on it. He never let Alfred, take care of him, whatever. Like when he went to, after this battle and other battles, he went back to the therapist, Dr. Chandra, or whatever her name is. And he said, all I need is some towels and some Scotch tape. Did he say Scotch tape or masking tape? So he really wasn't even considering being bandaged up or being medicated. She's like, you got to get to the hospital. He's like, nah, no hospitals. He's a rich douche, Bruce Wayne. So Tim Drake is on the trail of Bane. Bane gets the drop on Tim. Bane kidnaps Tim, takes him underground, which again is what I alluded to. Borrowed from The Dark Knight Rises, you know what I mean? Tim confronts Bane and he puts it together, because Tim is basically like the best detective. You know what I mean? Well, no, Batman said that Tim will be the best detective. But next to Batman, Tim's like right under Batman. I hope I said that correctly. Next to Batman's detective skills, Tim's are second to Batman's. All right. So he fingers Bane. He's like, he's the guy that's been doing all this because he had a little, encounter. Tim can't hurt him at all. So he like escapes by the skin of his teeth. Kind of the same way Commissioner Gordon did in The Dark Knight Rises, where he like kind of like just bailed and like went down the spillway and he was discovered by know-it-all, fail-safe cop. You know what I mean? That becomes Robin at the end of The Dark Knight Rises. So Tim returns to the cave. Batman returns to the cave. And he says, Batman, I did it. He's like, because he also interrogated the Bertinelli family. Now, if you know anything about Batman stuff, anything about his side characters and supporting cast, the Bertinelli family, that's where Huntress comes from. Helena Bertinelli. All right, so just a little Easter egg, you know what I mean? So he interrogates the Bertinelli family. These other guys come in with guns, and Tim Drake brings Jean-Paul with him. And then his Order of the Saint Dumas programming kicks in. He murks all these dudes. But the only way he can snap out of it is he has to do it himself. Like he's like, oh my God, did it happen again? And Tim made a boo-boo here. This was a stupid move. He says, meet me back at the cave. I would have personally drove that. Watching him move like that and kill people, I'd have drove him back to the cave and said, stay here. I wouldn't have just said, hey, make it back to the cave and I'll meet you there. That was stupid on Tim's part. Even though he's like one of the greatest detectives, Tim Drake, he's still a kid, so he's still stupid. You know what I mean? To a measure. So when they rendezvous at the cave, Jean-Paul still hasn't returned, but Batman returns. Shout out Batman Returns. But anyway, Alfred's there with Tim. He's like, Batman, good news. I found out who did it. And he said, didn't I tell you to stay here? So Batman's not even paying him any mind. And he's like, I know who's behind this. He said, you could have got yourself killed. And he fires Tim Drake. He says, pack your things and you're going home. So then Alfred and Tim leave. Bruce realizes that, because, Bruce is in bad shape, you know what I'm saying? He still had the scratch on his face from when he confronted the Mad Hatter in the park. His cowl is down, and he immediately regrets it. He's like, Alfred, Tim. He goes upstairs, the lights go out. So then he walks into one of the spacious rooms in Wayne Manor, and he sees Tim and Alfred laid out. And, thunder is going on in the background. And then lightning strikes and the silhouette of Bane is like overshadowing Bruce. So then Bane steps out of the shadows. He talked about how you're the weakness that's, crippling this city. And he says, I'm going to remove the weakness. I'm going to end you, basically, as Bruce Wayne and Batman, because everybody is using you as a crutch. And he says that you're going to know what true strength is. So, again, Batman stands no chance against Bane. And one thing I wondered, I was like, why on earth does the Bat family wait for him to push the button or inject himself with the venom and for it to go do, and the veins to enlarge and look like a person's hand, on your arm? That's how big the veins are. I'm like, why don't they just attack him while he's getting juiced? Like, I just never understood that. But it's probably quicker, it's probably shock value, like, oh my God, this man is, it probably would freeze me in my tracks too, watching this dude just put on muscle immediately without lifting no weights. So Batman's no match for Bane. You know what I mean? Like, Bane is like jesting the whole time, talking to him, talking trash to him. And Bane is voiced by Michael Mando, who we last saw in Spider-Man Brand New Day as Scorpion, all right? And I don't remember, and Batman is voiced by Anson Mount. You'll know Anson Mount, who played Black Bolt in the Inhumans, the television miniseries, and in that scene that I can't stand in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. All right. So both actors really embodied the characters. Bane chases Batman down into the Batcave. Like Bane is so big, he got to squeeze in, and it reminded me of Jack Nicholson from The Shining, when it says, "Here's Johnny." So it's like, here's Baney. No, that was trash. So he's like, Batman's limping down the steps, and it's very cinematic. Like, this is a very cinematic animated movie. So Bane's just looming large behind him. He like slaps Batman around. Then he picks him up and does exactly what he did in the comic books, exactly what he did in The Dark Knight Rises, and breaks the bat over his knee. And a lot of people don't know what happened to Batman after that. But then we just see him just dragging the limp, broken body of Batman by his leg, And then there's an explosion downtown, and then Bane shout, I don't remember exactly what he shouted, but he picked Batman up for everybody to see from on top of a building or whatever. I think it was the top of the police station? It was the top of some building. So Commissioner Gordon, Harvey Bullock, everybody's looking. Dr. Chandra's watching on TV. Alfred and Tim are watching. And he does it in front of everybody in Gotham. And he says, he throws Batman from the top of the building, and Batman collides into the large floodlight. And then like the projection, Batman's broken body on the floodlight, it's like the bat signal, except it's fractured, and it's very symbolic. It's like the representation of the breaking of Batman, and perhaps the breaking of Gotham's dependency on Batman as well, because he can't do anything now because he's crippled. So this was well done. I like the cartoonish animation of Bane. I like how large he was. Again, it's straight out of a comic book. Like this dude is so huge. Like his muscles, he almost looks like a strong guy from X Factor from the early 90s. But the voice acting was on point. Was there any standouts? Other than like Michael Mando and Anson Mount, I think everybody did a great job. Like I even like whoever voiced Jean-Paul Valley, who is Azrael. Tim was great, Alfred was good. Commissioner Gordon is an older Commissioner Gordon, so it's not like salt and pepper hair. This is old Gordon, like white hair. There's a mention and a reference to Death in the Family, again with Jason Todd, because when Bane is fighting Bruce in the Batcave, he like throws him into, the monument that Batman has for Jason Todd, with the uniform and the cat mask or whatever. So a lot of callbacks to The Dark Knight Rises, callbacks to Death in the Family. This is very well done. I definitely recommend that you watch this. I can't wait until part 2 and part 3 come out. I believe part 2 comes out later this year, and I think part 3 comes out early next year, 2027. But as far as the grade, Batman Knightfall Part 1, A. Easy A. You know what I mean? So this is a great expanse by John Bat 426, and this has been the recap with no cap, Batman Knightfall Part 1. Check it out.